You are live. Hello Facebook. Joke. Hello YouTube. Wow, James is flying in with a quick question. So just to explain, I've come on 3 minutes early. Don't worry folks if you're joining us on the hour, like a good Marine. Actually, a good Marine would be 5 minutes early. I just saw 3 people waiting. That's now 8 people. And I just want to say thank you and come on a bit earlier. Can you hear me okay? Hello, James. Hello, James and James. You're not twins, are you? Can someone tell me they can hear me okay? The microphone. Da-na-na-na. I think it's all on, all right. Yes, good. We've got a slight delay because I'm using my OBS studio. It's a wee bit of a pain in the ass because it means everything I'm saying, I'll see on my screen here, I'll see myself on the screen saying it like 4 seconds later. Which is why when we did the SAS live stream the other night, I had to do it straight to YouTube rather than going through the OBS studio. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Brilliant. Brilliant. Let's just go back up. Why is it people with metal in their body from injuries are sometimes turned away? Anything medical, guys. Personally, I'd keep quiet. I know that probably doesn't help your nerves, but I would just be quiet. Your doctor's maybe not going to give them all your records right. This is just my advice. I'm not telling you to do this. It's just, if you go and volunteer stuff, like somebody asked me this week, they had a very mild form of learning disability, so it was mild, like mild autism. I mean, I'm just saying, I can't see you getting into the Marines with any form of autism. Do you get what I'm saying? If anything ever went tits up and you shot the wrong person, someone's going to have to, you know, that will get flagged up at a court-martial, right? So the pins, there's a really good website. Let me just get you boys the link. Please don't shoot over to this now, or I will hunt you down. I will torture you, and I will make your life a freaking pain with the swear word in, all right? Yeah, don't surf over to this now. Oh! Sorry. In the military, we call that a tech biff. Here we go. General Royal Marines joining chit. There's a few. There's a few. Does it sound strange? Hang on. Does anyone else think it sounds strange? I've got family running around in the background. I'm just going to continue. Look at this link I'm putting in the chat. That's a really good forum site, and there's a lot of these conversations going on. So I don't really know about metal because, to be honest, I never met anyone with metal in their body other than me, because that tooth is platinum, believe it or not. And I didn't get that until I was in the Marines. And have a guess what knocked that tooth out. Andy, is that you, Boomer? Hello, mate. My gosh. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Thomas. Champion! Hello, mate. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I'm seeing all the names here. Ideal. Yeah, the Wim Hof stuff, it's all good, isn't it? Anyone that can swim in the freezing, ice-cold Scandinavian waters underneath the ice and basically not die, they know something that we don't they? I always think Wim's interesting because he's got that massive, looks like a massive whiskey nose, doesn't it? So, and his favourite food is macaroni cheese, which is probably one of the most unhealthiest things you could eat. So it's interesting how everyone's got their different take on what kind of health is. Whereas I believe in taking the best of everything. But of course he's got something with that breathing. I've got a video, I might maybe post it one time on Facebook of me doing it. So hiya Maria. Seeing a lot of my Patreons here. So yeah, Patreon. Thank you to Tim. If you're wondering what Patreon is, read the link in the bottom of my my video screen here, on the bottom of YouTube basically. It tells you what you get for £2 a month. As I'm always saying, best £2 you will spend in a month. I can say that hand on heart because today, at the minute, because I've got, I think, 51 Patreons, I've got a bit of time we can speak to each other on the phone. That's not going to be the case forever. But so today I spoke to 2 of my Patreons, and we really can help people to get back on a horse. When I say back on a horse, I mean back smashing life. There's some really people have got very strange ideas in society because you listen to what people tell you, right? And that can so massively hold you back. Especially if you don't understand things like diet. Everything starts from your diet. And that's not trying to sound like, mummy and daddy. It really does. So the Patreon thing, £2 a month, it's great. You get to come and see me speak. That's why I mentioned it. Tim, very kindly, is looking at sorting out a venue in London for us. So you can come, we can meet, we can chat, we can sign books, do the photographs, I can tell you my story, we can have a question and answer session. It's all going to be good. For your £2 a month you get a VIP ticket, that's it. You don't pay any more, right? And of course you get all my books. Yeah, so let me just go down here. Hi Boomer. Very old friend of mine there. Brooke, I can see the super chat. Okay, so on the subject of super chat, I thought we'd try something this evening. And that is... I haven't got it here, but I was going to say anybody that contributes a tenner to the podcast to fundraising for the podcast, I will send you a signed photo of me when I ran my 999 miles, the length of Britain, okay? Anyone that does 30, I'll send you a signed copy of my book. Yeah. Hey, don't rush. You probably haven't heard me say that yet because of the delay. Yeah, American only ate macaroni cheese, wasn't it? For I think it was all he ate. Of course you can survive on it. You're going to get your colds and your flu every year when you eat an acidic diet. But you're not going to live very long. £1,000, Alex. I will take my clothes off and run to your house and kiss you. Twice. That's the kiss that's twice. I'm not running to your house twice. Especially if you live further away than Exeter. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so Nava the Beast. Nava the Beast has a very successful YouTube channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. And he does a similar thing to me, although he's been doing it a lot longer and he's quite polished. So I hit him up this week and said, look, let's do something together. And yeah, he's a good man. He came straight back to me within 15 minutes and said when, and I said now, and he went, let's do it. So we got a Zoom call up, which is a bit like Skype, and we did a sort of best part of an hour podcast. Not quite sure how that's going to go, because I know he's got a separate podcast platform, whereas I wanted to do a live chat for Facebook, obviously. So anyway, we'll see. So yeah, this week I've been sorting out the iTunes. When you apply to iTunes, it takes a week for them to come back and okay your podcast. I guess they're checking it's not, overly gratuitous, that you've got your artwork sorted out, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, but in the meantime, I think we're up on Spotify and a few of the other platforms. Had a few downloads already, which is great. You can let me know what you think, but my dilemma was I didn't know whether to have a show like, say, Sean Atwood and James English. Sean has got True Crime Podcast. James has got Anything Goes. And I didn't know whether to just have my Bought the T-shirt interviews with people that I do here on the couch. Sounds a bit kinky, that, huh? But you know what I mean. Or when I'm like recording in someone's house. But in the end, I thought, you know what? That would almost be a crime, because I've got so many stories from around the world. I mean, I've got stories from 80 countries. I've got a lot of stuff that could help people, that will interest people. So I decided I'm just going to put, my stories on the iTunes podcast as well. We'll see how it goes. It's all early days, right? So, yeah. Okay, I've got a spoon. I don't know if you can see that. Just want to ask a question. This is no bootnecks are allowed to answer this. In fact, no military. If I stir my hot drink and then I get the spoon, when you're not looking, I put it on your bare skin. What is the cardinal rule? Do you get me? What is the and this is known, every Marine knows this. Once you're outside of training, you might not know it in training, but once you get to your commander unit, yeah, you'll need to know that rule. So what is the rule? Someone stirs their drink and they touch you with the hot spoon. Bum bum bum. Mac and cheese, just add water. It sounds awful, doesn't it? Yeah, Nava's a good motor. He's a nice... I'm allowed to call him a kid, right? Because I'm probably twice his age, but he's a real nice guy. I've been doing I'm just going to try an experiment here and see if you can see this. Let me know if this works okay. Bum bum bum. I'm just going to try and show you the next thumbnail that I've been working on for a podcast I've been working on. Is it that one? Dun dun dun. I'm not sure if you can see that okay. Perhaps you can let me know. You want to see that again? Royal Marines meet USMC. I was going to call it the Royal Marines meet the USMC, but that picture is me. I'm driving this car, the US Marines driving the other hire car, and yeah, we're fucking around, as you can see, putting everyone on the road in danger. So yeah, did you see that okay? Would I recommend weight training? Very rarely. I mean, yeah, it's okay for toning up. I wouldn't go into like the body image thing because it you know, it's okay when you're young to have a nice body. I get that, but there's not a massive amount of points spending an hour in the gym every day just for how you look. And when you do weights, that's not aerobic fitness, right? It's not cardiovascular, so it doesn't actually do your health any good other than you get bigger muscles, right? For joining the Marines, they're going to take care of all your fitness, so don't worry too much. You've just got to pass the PRMC, right? And as I'm always saying, you don't want to get too fit, because if you join and you're too fit, you'll lose that fitness because you won't be doing a lot of stuff in the early weeks. But yeah, I like the fittest I get is when I do 3 milers, maybe 5 times a week, because 3 miles is a nice distance. When you start getting good, then you can really hammer it, like run really fast the whole of the 3 miles. So like the circuit I did with a chicken hat on, thank you to everyone who watched that video. If everyone can subscribe, by the way, that would really help. And I do the 3 mile run. Obviously I like a bit of swimming because that's good for the triathlon. Do 1 or 2 bike rides a week. I'm going to be doing an early morning Sunday ride, so I'll take my camera for one of those. And then when I'm in the gym, which I normally hit the gym for my morning routine, everybody should have a morning routine, right? And I will do physio for my back, and then I will just do light weights all around the machines, pull-ups, press-ups. Yeah, I'll come back to that, James. And do you know what? You get really fit, really strong, really agile, and really supple quite quickly doing that. And your recovery time is shorter, so you can recover quicker to go and do your exercise the next day, right? What I'm thinking of doing though is I haven't done a lot of pull-ups or press-ups for quite a while, so I'm like back to square one, where it's almost weird that I used to do 29 pull-ups without, 20 was without thinking, 29 was just a good day. And now, I swear, I almost struggle to do one. And yet, it's not like I'm huge or anything, right? So I was wondering, maybe I set myself a goal to pass the PRMC tests, and then I make a video about it. Obviously I'm not going to go to Lympstone, but yeah, let me know what you think if you'd like to see a video about that. That will be fun. That will give me an incentive as well to get as fit as possible, because I'm not going to look stupid. Yeah. Right. So looking down here, yeah, the USMC guys you're going to see in this video, none of them were bodybuilders. In fact, none of them really looked particularly Marine-ish. They're all kind of rednecks. And thank you, Jacob. Yeah, that running video with the chicken on my head, the chicken hat, that motivated a lot of people. If you get a chance, hi Gary, you're welcome. If you get a chance to watch it, and if you can give it a like, that'll be great. Thanks, Andy. Boomer. Yeah, I'm just looking down. Dun, dun, dun. Are the Marines better than the Paras? I get that asked so much. It's kind of like a question a young man would ask, if you get what I'm saying. When you get old, you realise there's no real competition. It's 2 different jobs for a start, and it's 2 different, almost like 2 different kinds of people join the Marines and the Paras. Of course, there's a bit of crossover. The Marines, for a start, is part of the Navy, so we got a completely different history to the Army. In our history, we have to use showers. Do you know those things called showers? The water comes out of them and you have to have this stuff, call it soap, right? And it's like magic stuff. It gets all the dirt off you. Don't have to do that in the Army. I'm going to get hung now. Brooke, you absolute legend. Brooke Benson, £10 for a signed picture. You absolute gentleman, Brooke. Of course, that'll be winging its way to you. I should have had one here. I don't want to go behind my backdrop because it will... Hang on, let me just try and see. Bear with me. Okay, so one day we'll have the Joe Rogan studio. I'll buy that from him. Then we won't have these problems. So yeah, let's have a look. There we go. I don't know if you can see that okay. So photo, what did we say, £10? I will chuck in a book sticker with that. These are called book plates. Book plates, I sign them with your, I give you a message, and then they're a lot cheaper to post, obviously, than books. Although I will post a book. First memoir, second memoir. Eating Smoke, 40 nights. Obviously I'll post a book due for the £30 one. For £10, photo and a book plate. Then you can put it on eBay for like £1,000, something like that. Right. Where are we with the questions? Pong goes, yeah, I can't bring myself to say that, Boomer. It's always used derogatory, you know the word I'm trying to use, in the Marines. It's and I'm just too old for all that shit now. Everyone does a different job, right? So come on. Ollie's asking, what's the spoon thing? Can nobody tell him? Hiya, Brandon. Yeah, I'd like to get on JRE, that's Joe Rogan. It's just one of those weird things that... Oh, hang on. Can someone tell me if you can hear me okay? I'm getting this... Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, I'm just going to have to keep talking. I'm not sure what that is about, guys. Sorry. Hang on a sec. So, Lawrence, my man, Lawrence McMahon, hello. Thank you for your phone call. Good man Lawrence, he's going to go and smash his life out. And I've been giving him a few tips because, you know, you get one life, if you live it right, one is enough, right? Sorry about the echoing. Maybe I need to turn it. I'll just turn it down a sec. Hang on, let me check my OBS studio. I don't know if that's better. Don't know why it's echoing. Pass, really. Just one sec. Right. Testing. Okay. Guys, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I echoing now? Okay, that's brilliant. I think it might be because my webcam, the audio was coming through my webcam and the microphone. So yeah, we went to the moon, didn't we, with less technology than a calculator. It is a weird world, Brooke. You know, 60% of the people you share the planet with believe that 3 Freemasons got in a tin can, chuck some fossil fuel in the back, and then they managed to get out of Earth's, 200 mile plus atmosphere, then cross another 200,000 miles of vacuum in space, and then go to the moon. And then 2 of the Freemasons said, right, we're fucking out of here. We're just going to get in this little shitty capsule that looks like a homeless person's shelter, and then we're going to take that capsule and we're going to go over to that planet over there. We're going to land on it, right? Oh, and by the way, our mates are going to come up. They're going to bring a car up with them, and they're not going to do any like serious scientific experiment. No, they're going to fuck around with golf clubs and piss around in this car doing wheel spins, despite the fact there's no hospitals on the moon. And 60% of the planet still believe that story. And the other 40% believe there's a, little old man who sits on a cloud with a wispy white beard. So don't ever think you're mad. Okay. So yeah, I'm just getting down here. Yeah, Lawrence, I'm not sure about this echo thing. I'm glad you can hear me. Brilliant. Yeah, Matt, that count, I was all right. Did I count? What did did I get to 8? I'm going to learn 10 by next week. I'm going to get my 4-year-old to teach me how to count to 10. It's a Marines thing. We're not very we're not too good at counting, right? How old when I knew I wanted to be a Marine? I did it on the spur of the minute. So I was 18. My friend bet me I couldn't do it. I said yes. And I went to the recruiting office I think it was after the Christmas holiday, and just signed up. Hi, Digger. I'm just checking. Robert's asking a question about the famous PO number. People that joined at my time, and I'm not sure if it's changed now, and I'm not sure how long it was like this, but we had a number that began with PO. And obviously you remember your service number for life. 8-figure service number. Yeah, mine's Digger. Mine is 8. Yeah, mine is 8, mate. I mean, obviously, not all numbers. There's the end the end of mine is Juliet J. Thanks, John. Can I talk about making money with homes? Oh, right. Okay, yeah. No, all I would suggest to any young person is one of the things that really made my adult life, you know, let's just say easier for want of a better word, and it allowed me to travel the world, is I bought property when I was young. It's really worth doing, even if it stretches you when you're young. If you're a young Marine, you know, you go down to the bank, you can lie a bit and tell them you earn more than, you know, you tell them you get your Norway money or your parachute money or whatever it is, and that puts your salary up so you can get a bigger mortgage, right? But I know it's difficult, but you don't, I made so much money just by buying one house. I mean, I bought my house for 39,000. I sold it for 150,000, so I made £110,000, right? It's not, doesn't quite work like that, because sometimes, you know, you put your mortgage up at times over the years. You have to pay when you sell a house, and obviously you have to reinvest that money in, like, the house that I'm living in now, right? But it meant that over the years, you know, I could go off and go traveling, and I'm getting my mortgage paid at home. Recommend to anyone to do that. Someone asked me about the RAF. Yeah, the RAF was a funny one. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, no one's got the spoon thing. Yeah, the RAF was a funny one. I when I left school, I was directionless. I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? Probably like a lot of people. Oh, it's James. Hiya, James. And so I came up with this plan that I'd join the RAF. I'm not sure why. I think my friend had joined. And I needed Maths and English O-level. So I went and studied that at college. I think I failed both. It wasn't until I got in the Marines that I first started getting a real education. I passed 3 GCSEs in the Marines, and I had 2 from school, or we called them O-levels back then. So I went down to the RAF recruiting office, and I literally would have been applying for a job as something like a parachute packer. You know, something that didn't require much qualifications. And what happened is they gave me an interview, and the truth was I had no idea about the RAF. I knew nothing about it. I couldn't even tell you, to be honest, what one of their aeroplanes was. And this guy in the recruiting office, he could tell that. He pulled this plane out and went, "What's this plane?" I think it was a TriStar, and I'm like, I couldn't even answer the question. I had no idea. And he asked me a couple of other things, and I gave back just weak answers. And he said, "I don't think the RAF's for you." He said, "I don't think you'd stick the training." Out of everything he said, that was the most stupidest thing he could have said. Because he should have just said, like, "You don't know much about the RAF, go away and learn." But no, he said, "You won't stick the training." Well, no one's got the right to make that kind of judgment on another person, right? And like I say, so about a year later, I went to the Marines recruiting office. And yeah, have to be honest, really glad I did. And I'll be. This is the way that I saw it when I was young. Unless you're a fighter pilot or even a pilot in the RAF, there isn't another job in the RAF that kind of carries the kudos that being a Royal Marine carries, other than parachute packer. So yeah, I might be being a bit judgmental and cruel there, but it's just the way that I saw it when I was young. You go on, you know, I met my friends were in the RAF, and it just seemed a bit wank. Poop deck, have no idea. I can do these talks every Friday night. We're a bit down on numbers at the minute. Crossing the bar. That's got to be some Navy. You know, it will be something from a ship, like when you died, I'm not going to pretend I know, but a lot of it comes from the old Navy stuff, right? So Walter Mitty for the young people, that's someone who pretends to be a serviceman. It's actually a film character from Hollywood, and there's been a newer film made about it, right? But some forces people get really upset about these characters. I kind of realise a lot of them are mentally unwell, and you can't have a go at someone who's mentally unwell, whether that makes you a bully. And you don't know which ones are mentally unwell and which ones are just have inferiority complexes, or maybe narcissistic sort of tendencies. If someone wants to put a uniform on, buy some medals on eBay and go around saying that they're Chris Thrall author, do you know how much I care? About like that much. Life's too. You get 100. You know, you're going to get 80 years to live if you're lucky, right? Maybe 100 if you're super fit. And like, why would I worry about such silly stuff? You know, my identity isn't in the Marines. I love it that I've been a Marine. It obviously forms a part of my character, but like, I don't live in something I did all those years ago, right? You know, it was just something I did when I was young, and yeah, I hope that makes sense. Squats and farm. Yeah, you want to be able to fire. I never did a fire. I think my mate made me fireman's carrying before I joined up. So I'm going to tell you the spoon thing. The cardinal sin. You're not allowed to flash at the hot spoon. Right? Someone makes a drink, the kettle is scalding hot, they stir the drink, it's hot. You immediately put the spoon on someone, the nearest person, when they're not looking. They promptly jump out their skin because it's hot. But the rule is, across the Marines, you're not allowed to flash. That means you're not allowed to lose your temper. I'm surprised no one got that. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. For proving running, stamina and endurance. I don't know what that is, Liam. I don't really know what stamina and endurance. You know, it's like, get yourself fit, right? That's your fitness, and don't fucking stop. It's that easy, right? You don't fucking stop. Because if you can fall in the ditch, that means you've got the energy to take one more step. That's just what Marines do. It's what we all had to do. There's no... You can't... You know, the only way to build stamina is just... You don't stop, mate. You know, brilliant question. I'm not shouting at you, by the way. I'm just being a bit stupid. But yeah... Look at my running video with a chicken hat, you know. Just get up the hills, learn how to slow your pace down when you're going uphill, shake your arms out when you're going downhill, breathe, head up if you can, but I prefer to look down when I'm going uphill for some reason. And I would just recommend getting as fit as you can, because it's going to make training easier. Even though, like I said, you probably lose some of that fitness in the beginning. I just wish I was fitter when I joined. Unless you take steroids or something, which I don't recommend, you ain't going to get like massively bulked up. You know, you want to be toned, you want to be athletic, but that's where it ends. The more weight you are, the more you got to get it up those ropes, right? How many books have I written? 2 memoirs, 2 works of fiction. I write a fiction series called the Hans Larsson series. That's about a former Navy SEAL who turns special operative for an organisation called The Concern. The first book is set in a life raft, and this guy idolises his young daughter, right? Really quite worth a read. I put my best into it, and I didn't want it to be like all the other freaking detective, adventure, thriller, Navy SEAL, SAS type books out there. Do you get what I'm saying? I wanted something a bit human, and a lot of the dits in it, so a lot of the stories are from my Marine days, you know, so I've just turned them into like Navy SEAL speak. I don't think you can develop the commando state of mind, Thomas. Either you're the sort of person that fucking smashes it, which is in here and it's in here, or you're not. I don't know how you develop that. You can maybe get fitter at stuff and better at not. You know, we had lads guaranteed they'd drop out the speed march. You know, actually, to be honest, it was one lad, but guaranteed he would always drop out the speed march, always get in the rat wagon, and you know, how can you do that, right? I mean, he was a smoker. He never did a lot of training in his spare time, so maybe he just wasn't fit enough. But that is state of mind. It's when you know. I'll tell you the story of my endurance course run. One day I'll do it in a like a podcast type vid, because I had a decision to make. I was dead. I was literally dead to my body was dead. I couldn't run another step, and I had to decide: do I want this thing? It's the world's most expensive dishcloth, or do I not want it, and do I want to go home and be a wanker? And you know, I started running then, didn't I? I started putting one foot in front of the other, and not stopping, and not stopping, and not stopping, and that's all it is, not stopping. You know, I didn't even really do much training before I joined the Marines. It's just about getting in there and not giving up, right? Bum bum. Da, da, da. There's Robert doing some good stuff there with the service numbers. Da, 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 da. Yeah, careers advisors. How can you advise? I mean, that people in those sort of jobs must be so wanky. They're just taking their 30 grand a year and telling kids. Yeah, how can you tell a young person what career is for them when they're 15 years old, for crying out loud? I don't know what age people join the military, Phil, that end up going SAS or SB. That's the SBS. It just generally tends to be quiet guys, like not gobby, not the ones that go out drinking all the time. Just quiet guys. The guys that stay at the back, they don't say a lot, because, you know, not unpopular guys at all. They're normally, you know, they get on fine with everyone. They're just not like gobshites, do you know what I mean? And they're kind of reserved, and they quietly in their minds make that decision that they want to be the best in the world. And then they go to Hereford and do the selection, right? Or it used to be pool if you were a Marine and you were going to the SBS. I don't necessarily think it's kids that have been in since 16 or 17, although it may well be. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my spot in the feed. Stolen valor, don't use that expression, folks. It's a fucking wanky. No disrespect to my lovely American brothers and sisters. They're wonderful people, but they're just fed this crock of shit all the time. Stolen valor. You know, what about all the people that served in the military? They didn't have any valor. They were wankers, which is probably a good, you know, depending on where you are, 40%. They got no valor. Some of them were just cowards. I've seen what happens when the shots start going down, and all these so-called trained, you know, service men. Obviously, I was in Northern Ireland, so we didn't have any women on the street with us. But I've just seen them go to utter fucking shit, lying on the floor like a wet lettuce, you know, and it's not valor. It's not valor to join the military and go and bomb third world countries and steal their oil. It's fucking naivety, and it's, you know, it's what we did because we didn't know much when we were kids, right? And we wanted to go and make something of our life, and we bought the kind of lie, I suppose you'd say, that was sold to us. I mean, you get a good career with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming servicemen and women. You know, it's up to the leaders and the elders in the society to look after the youngsters, right? And we don't have that. We just have a greedy bunch of narcissistic, sociopathic, esoteric, secret clubbing wankers that are just intent on fucking the planet over for their greedy little gain, you know, because daddy didn't love them enough. Don't use things like stolen valor. Don't say thank you for your service. All this shit is a cloak. It's to make it seem as though that war is a respectful thing to go and fight. It's fucking not. It's hideously evil. You're burning children to death in their cots. That, you know, I know you don't set out to do that, and I'm not blaming anyone like myself that's been in, you know, an active service situation. But get real, guys, you know. Get real. It's not heroic. It's an awful thing. I'm on the phone now to guys that have had PTSD since the Falklands. You know, these are people that can't handle life because of what they saw. Burnt, you know, in my mate's words the other day, burnt 14 and 15-year-olds lying in a trench. You know, you're 18 yourself. You've got to get in there and get their body organs out and the bits that have splattered all around that trench and try to, like, put it together so they can be repatriated to their family. Or worse still, you've got to bury those little boys' bodies, you know, with their mum and dad fucking crying their eyes out for years in another country. You've got to bury those kids' bodies in the peat bog, right? Their family's never going to see them again. Like your family won't see. You know, these coffins that come back from Afghanistan, do you think there's anything in them? Seriously? Most of them are empty. I think you can work out why, right? You know? So yeah, all this, like, I'm not angry at the people saying it. I'm angry at the way we've been brainwashed in society. And people like me need to say this. All this stolen valor shit is just to protect war, to make war seem like it's a hero thing, and that you got to bury, man. You earned that bury. No, I didn't. You know, yeah, I earned it. I earned it because I was a damaged young man. I was incredibly damaged. I thought that joining up would make me a hero, and going out and, you know, if I could kill someone, that I'd be a hero soldier and a big man, and, you know, and I'm just so glad I didn't now, because unless you lack empathy, meaning you're a sociopath, I can't see how you can kill anyone and it not play on your conscience as you get older, you know? And they don't tell you that, do they, when you join up? So, yeah, stop all this stolen valor stuff, guys. It's American shit, you know? And it's not the Americans, sorry, it's the people that control America. Remember? These greedy, nasty little corporate types. You know, Many of them have dual citizenship with Israel, so they're not even American, right? But they know how to do the puppet on a string game, and they get you to speak this language that you know. Like I say, if you want to know what's going on in the world, read 1984. Don't go down the recruiting office. Read 1984 first. Educate yourself. You know, you'll have a different view on life. Right, coming down here. Stuart, I'm trying to make sense. I had enough. And the RAF wanted to make their aircrew on flights to the F1 feel more included, so gave them flight suits, cravats, and wings, as opposed to just wearing a uniform. What's the FL, F1? Am I missing some in there? Catch 22 sums up joining the Marines. You know, you can have a job which can be really shit, right? Working for a wanker boss. You can have a really exciting few years of, well, you know, exciting in part, 70% boring. Although a 22-year Marine the other day corrected me and said, Chris, it's not 70% boring in the Marines. It's like 95% fucking boring in the Marines. Why do you think people only do 7 years, you know? Yeah, Ben, you know, I have so much more respect for you for saying that you've got two minds about this thing. It shows that you can think. I couldn't. You know, suppose you say I was brainwashed. I just thought the military was. I wasn't brainwashed. We just didn't know shit that we know now, right? Yeah, Lawrence pointed out. Why do you think 3,000 ex-service people will be sleeping out in this cold tonight, right? It's because we're all damaged when we joined up. That's why we joined, you know? It's why we joined. And when you go through that protection in the military, everything gets taken care of. You're not a hero, believe me, and you're not like valorous, if that's a word. You're basically like babied. Like everything is done for you. Your medical, your health, your money. If you need an operation, bang, you're in hospital in like 2 weeks having it done. You know, you don't have decisions to make. If you get in trouble, it kind of like gets, you know, it can get taken care of, sort of thing, right? There's certain rules. So long as you stick to them, like you shave every day, you wear your hat when you're outside, you know, so long as you follow these rules, it's a very easy life, right? And of course, going to war, that's not, you know, you can have tough conditions in a war, but you don't want to get left behind a war. You want to go because, you know, it's what you've trained to do and all your mates are going, right? But, yeah, there's a reason 3,000 people will sleep on the streets of Britain. And, you know, it's all a bit fucked up then, right? Yeah, Clive Cussler, Boomer, he writes a lot of books, doesn't he? Blimey. Oh, Gaz, you legend. Thank you. Commando Gaz, fellow brother there, has come in with £2 because his Patreon payment didn't go through this month. Thank you, because it's not right. What do you have to pay for whilst in training? Not a lot. They get a lot of good kit now. I'm speaking to my mate. He runs the kit shop in Exeter. We're going to do a video together. He says, to be honest, Chris, they can't have recruits like we did. We had to go and buy most of our decent kit. But they can't have that now because people won't, you know, they won't join up, right? Thanks, Stuart. Falklands, yeah. I've almost been to the Falklands because I've been to Antarctica. And one of the expedition ships actually went via the Falklands. And I'd love to have made it work, but it was just a bit, for some reason, it didn't work at the time. But yeah, Antarctica, I'll talk about that sometime. It's a shame though, if I talk about Antarctica, McGregor, is he MK Ultra, do you think? have you seen those videos where he's completely like in a trance, zoned out while he's talking to an interviewer, and he like snaps out of it? It looks really weird. But yeah, I'm reading I'm reading the sorry, I'm switching subjects, I know, but I'm reading Tyson Fury's biography at the moment. It's quite an eye opener. You know, he's been through a lot of mental health issues. The Falklands, yeah, my God. The Falklands, Ross, that's like asking me a question that I'm schizophrenic to answer. What I mean by that is, on the one hand, you're kind of like, how dare you fucking Argentinians invade our island and think you can, you know, that Britain's not going to do fuck all, right? That's like the Marine in me that's so proud that we sent our, you know, our task force 8,000 miles, and then we fucking kicked ass at the end of it with almost like zero equipment because it all got blown up on the Atlantic conveyor, right? You know, I'm proud that the what the Marines did down there, really, that kind of is hero stuff. What they had to go through, you know, march or die, literally march, or you sit down and die. If you're asking as human beings, can we not get a better answer to a conflict on an island full of sheep than sending, you know, 300 men to their deaths and then condemning thousands more to suicide from PTSD, and then condemning tens of thousands more to a life of PTSD? So ruined all their life, you know. Not everyone, of course, but so, you know, is that justified? Is there not a better way? Could we not have put sanctions on you know, could we not have... I'm not going to make a comment on it because people went down there, they died fighting for what they believed, and you know, I was very proud of them at the time. I saw the ships coming back because I live in the southwest. I was in Portsmouth the day, I think was it the Canberra got in, and I was waving to all the Marines and the sailors. All the cars coming down the motorway were just full of servicemen. People were flagging them down in the laybys on the motorway and just chucking crates of beer. I'm getting upset now, you know. Chucking crates of beer on the buses to say thank you for what those boys... Were there girls in the Falklands? Someone put that because I can't think. But yeah, you know, not always a simple answer to everything, is there? What are the allegations against Conor McGregor? I've seen the video of him punching that old man. Can someone enlighten me? Yeah, African Pride. I think the Ghanaian army is, aren't they? I think this commonly accepted Ghanaian army is the best in the world. When I was in Ghana, I smoked a lot of crack, so I wasn't doing. Or was that Guyana? Ghana was the first country in Africa to get independence, wasn't it? Kwame Nkrumah marched on Parliament to demand equal rights, and it's where the whole movement in Africa, the whole kind of decolonization movement stemmed. What it was is he'd seen the way that the soldiers, the black soldiers, were recruited to fight for England in the Second World War and promised all these riches and equal rights. When they went back to Africa, of course, they're treated like slaves and shit again, right? And yeah, Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana used to be the Gold Coast, right? Yeah, don't fuck with the Ghanaian army. Well done, Mark. Yeah, oil in the Falklands, and there's stuff about Margaret Thatcher's husband had shares in companies. You're never going to know the truth, right? You just got to work it out for yourself. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. I heard something about this Iran thing recently. It's that the leader that was assassinated, the military leader, military controller, commander, was adamantly opposed to some American trade deal, I think for oil. And so this, I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just saying this is what I read this week, and this is the kind of thing that easily goes on. So America took him out in the drone strike, and then they say to Iran, you know, it's all done by these people in power. They sit around a table and plan all this shit, you know. And they said, and remember, all the people in power are being blackmailed for sleeping with children, you know, or doing all the stuff that they've been filmed doing over the years or caught doing and bailed out by these ultra-rich banking families like Trump, you know, who went bankrupt. They're all under the thumb of these people, so they have to do what they say or be exposed. So then it was like, we're going to take out your military... Give us an excuse to take out your military commander. We'll take him out. Then you got to do some, like, throw a bomb to make it look like you're retaliating. I'm just putting that out there. No, you never lay down in the sea overnight, Jordan. You would die. You might get chucked in we got chucked in an ice cold river on Survival X. So we hadn't eaten. It was freezing because we hadn't eaten, and we'd been yomping, so we were tired. We had to dive in a freezing river. It was September the 21st because it was my birthday. And it was the coldest thing I've ever had to do. Far colder than jumping into the Arctic, right? And then once you're in that water, they say, right, on the count of 3, everybody under. And whoever's up first fucks it up for everyone else. You're going back down. So you go 1, 2, 3. You go under this freezing cold water and you're just trying not to be the first one back up. Night gas. Like that. And of course, one person's always the first by definition. He takes all the shit and you go under again, and they'll do that to you like 10 times. But no, you don't do anything that's going to kill you in the military, because that could kill you. Wow. Because it's not right. I'm getting you there. One of our guys in Northern Ireland was undercover, driving along in his car, drove right into an IRA checkpoint. That's where the IRA would just flag cars down on the road and search them and check, you know, what their business, looking obviously for, amongst other things, for secret agents, you know, undercover agents. This Marine just stepped out the car, opened the door, pulled his pistol, shot all 4 of them dead. And that's not a bullshit story. That was might have been 3 people, might have been 1 person was bullshit, but he shot them all dead, right? Nice one, Gaz. Sleep well, brother. Stuart, don't. I hope you're joking when you use that word. I'm probably not the right person to use such. Life is a conspiracy, and sadly, it's what's going to destroy the future for my son, isn't it? Yeah, Tony Blair, prime example of someone who was. Yeah, very much doubt this stuff's to do with sovereignty, folks. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, Conor McGregor, someone refused his whiskey. And the 9 miler, wow. I found speed marching really hard. Really, it just drained me immediately, and then it was just, you know, it's a state of mind, right? Just to hang in there. The 9 miler was no different. Got about 100 metres down the road, and yeah, I was dead, right? But of course I can't give up because I've got the 9 miler, then I've got the 30 miler, and then I get my green berry, right? And you get to about 6 miles or something like that, and you're allowed to stop and drink water. I mean, literally, it's a stop, glug water, fall back in again on the road, and go. You only get an hour and a half to do this, right? And when I got to, I was dead. 6 miles, I was dead. It was agony until 7, and then I got a second wind, and for a mile, if not 2, I was just running normally. It was just such a relief. And then a mile from the end, my deadness just kicked back in, and that's, just hung in there. And all you do then is you pray to get around that corner. It's the transport's gonna be around that corner. You just pray. You're just praying for it to end, and when it ends, you're in heaven, right? So, what do I honestly think of regular infantry? They just do their job, don't they? You go to a war, you're going to need a lot of people to fight it, and that's what regular infantry do. If you need people to attack cliffs or do beach assaults, that's what the Marines do. Of course, they get, cross tasks, like the Gurkhas and the Paras in the Falklands had to do beach landings, right? But everyone's got a job. It's not a competition. I've had the YouTube channel probably for about maybe 6 years, maybe even longer. I just never did anything with it until 1 year ago, when I thought, bang, I'm going to, I'm going to start smashing out some videos. And Lawrence, good night, brother. Yeah, love is the greatest emotion. It's that simple. Unless you feel love in your heart for everybody, even your enemies, you can't truly say you're happy, can you? Yeah, Ian, I get it. I get it. These people are they're evil. It's just what they are. Yeah. Yeah, we all know about New York. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, Ollie, the marine spoon thing it's called hot spoon. You're not allowed to flash. Thanks, Maria. I haven't heard of Royal Marines. I think I've heard of Royal Marines Experience Days, just very vaguely. I personally wouldn't go. All the people that are the most keen in when you join training are normally the first ones to leave. I'd just go and join. I'd just join up, really. But then Cush Puppy there knows something I don't, which is great. Thank you. Yeah, Boomer might be on Sunday for the SAS show. If anyone wants to just write before I sign off, did you find the SAS show any good? I found it really difficult to kind of watch the TV, read the comments and talk. I didn't mind, but I'm conscious that other people who watch this later might just think it's, they haven't got the TV there in the background, right? They might just think it's a bit shit, basically. Just finding a way, aren't we? God, are you going through some stuff, because, aren't you? Bloody hell. Keep strong, brother, and get on the alkaline diet, for fuck's sake. Night, Parson. Thank you for joining my Patreon. Thanks to everyone who's joined Patreon. It's £2. Best £2 you'll spend in a month. Tarzan Assault, it's all easy. You need a bit of balls to do the high stuff and dive across into the net. But the hard thing about it is just you blow out your ass. You blow out your ass on the Tarzan assault more than any other commando test because it's just a short burst. It's about 18 minutes from start to finish, and you really got to go for it. I did 7 years, which is the average for a Marine. I was in 4-2 Commando Liam for Belfast and Arctic training. Then I was on HMS Invincible, the ship, for a year, and I sailed all around the world as part of a security detachment. And then I, what am I saying? Then I did 3 or 4 years of guard duty here in Plymouth. Ian, fight the good fight, mate. You know, if you get a problem with drugs, mate, join my Patreon. You know, who else for £2 a month is going to sort their drug problem out? If you go to a therapist, they're going to charge you £100 for 15 minutes, right? And they don't know what I know. So yeah. Dun dun dun. SAS show was good. Oh, thank you. Thank you, friend. Thanks, Boomer. I was talking about, I did a live stream, mate, while the show was on, and I'm just asking if the guys kind of liked it. I think I might give it another go, you know. All right, folks. That's it. I'm going to go and kiss my good woman. Dun, dun, dun. Dave Benison. I've never heard of him. Night, Gary. Thank you. All right, folks. Let's chop it there. Don't forget Patreon. Well worth it. If you want to make one-off donations towards supporting the podcast, you can do so. The links will be in the writing below. That's about it. I'm gonna. Night, Brooke. Night, everyone. Yeah. Great. That's it. I love you all. Be safe. And remember, you get one life. Smash it.